Hello, hello, hello. So it's that time. I need to do a new load order video for you. And that's what we're doing. Now, I have played this load order quite a bit, and I only found one issue with it, and I got rid of that, so you won't see that issue here. I have not done all the shows I need to do to complete this load order, okay? And most of those shows, as we scrolled, I'll tell you what, I'll point some of those things out to you, like most of those are follower mods. Not usually a big deal. I haven't run into any problems with any of the followers. The one follower mod you've probably seen the most is where I've been calling her Marsha. I'm sorry, but the name of the mod is really just Marsha. Anyway, I'll show you that when we get there. But I haven't even checked the others very well. So those, you might want to wait until I do shows on them. And definitely at the end of this life cycle, when I'm done doing all the shows, before I get rid of this load order, I'll do like a little update show and just let you know if I found any issues. Now, if I don't find any issues, I may not do any show because there's nothing to update you on. But if I find any issues, or if I find that I decided certain things I liked more than others and I let some things go, then I'll do a little update and say this is what I ended up with. But right now, I'm pretty solid on this load order, okay? So I'm just going to track down, because these take a little time and I have to run my mouth a lot. I'm just going to, just kind of go down, talk a little bit about each mod. Now, some of these mods you've seen multiple times. I'm not going to beat them to death. It's like a dead horse. But I'm just going to mention each one and slowly tick down so that you have a chance to look at anything you want to see. You can always pause the video, whatever. I will try not to race up and down the list, because sometimes I think I do that and it's annoying. It's annoying to me, so I imagine it's annoying to you. So I will try to be good and nice as best I can, okay? All right. So, of course, at first I have the unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch. As you know, this is by Arthmore, and I don't know if there's other people involved, but they maintain this. It's a pretty big patch, but it fixes a lot of things, and I prefer to have it rather than not. Always dragons, like it says. Simple, straight to the point. When you create your character, you can run into dragons immediately. You can go to the dragon walls or the dragon peaks, or however you want to call them, the dragon mountains, and you will have dragons. And you will get random dragons occasionally, which is fun. But that's what I wanted it for. Dragonborn delayed. I want this delayed until I finish the main quest line and kill Alduin. I don't want this popping up like at level 5 or 8 or whatever it is. It's something dumb. Does it say here? I don't know if they say that here, but nonetheless, you get the idea. The Dawn Guard. Now, I use the one, there's two versions. There's one that starts at 25 and one at 40. I use the 40 one because I want to try to get through the main quest line and the Dragonborn quest line before I do the Dawn Guard quest line. That's just me. It's not a big deal. You do you, but that's what I like. I think I've explained that one a lot in the past. So this is Tamriel Reloaded Trees. I think overall this is a good mod, and I've kept it around because it does do some nice different things with trees and gives you some good variety. It's also a lightweight tree mod, so it's not giving me any trouble. And yeah, I really don't have a lot more to say about it. It's nice. It gives you good variety. Okay. Grass. Now this grass gives you a lot of good variety, and it's actually, for a grass mod, I consider it on the slightly larger size, because you can get some much smaller grass mods that are really good, but they don't have the variety of this one. This one does have a lot of variety, so just so you know. This is the usual landscape fixes for grass mods. For whatever reason, all grass mods need this fix. I'm sure it has something to do with the way the game was made. I haven't really dug into it. I'm satisfied that it works. It's one of those things. It works. Good enough. It's good. It works. That's fine. So then we have, this is the weather mod I chose to use. because it is a pleasant weather mod. I did a show on this, which you may have seen already. If you have not, you will see it. And it has other variations of this weather mod, so don't think this is the only one. There are other variations that some of you would really like better. This variation just suits me in the shows, so I don't have blizzards in the middle of the show. This is Luminosity. Luminosity, I did not. I may have said things incorrectly about it in the past because I didn't pay attention. I didn't read the description well. Any number of reasons. Nonetheless, maybe I got confused and misunderstood. It's a great indoor lighting mod. Okay, as far as I know, it does not do anything outdoors, but indoors, it is a great lighting mod. I really like it, and I may keep it. It's good. This weather mod is that good too. Both are very good. We'll see. They're small too. You notice they're small. And unfortunately, with this load order, you're going to get my opinion. Just realize it's my opinion. You go by your opinion, because in your game, your opinion is what matters, not mine. But I'm just going to give you my opinion. Enhanced Night Skyrim. I just like this for its old, it's kind of sci-fi look, because Skyrim shouldn't be Earth, and it does have 2 moons. Why can't it have some, wild night sky stuff? You know what I mean? So that's why I like this. Now I think there's a new one down in Work in Progress that I need to check out, and I think it has a very similar name. It may not be the exact name, but it's similar. So I have some fun stuff to look forward to once I complete stuff in this load order, that I can do a show on. This is the normal Sarcastic Dragons dynamic moons that I use. I just really like these moons. I guess at some point I might replace them, or I might let them go if somebody repaints the normal moons really cool, which there is a mod that does that right now. There's a new mod that does that as well. I think it's down in Work in Progress. So these may be things you see shows on, in the upcoming weeks, as long as they don't go away. So this is display enhancements. I use this primarily. I tweak my game just a little bit. I add just a little saturation and a little contrast. It just pleases me. That's the only reason. I used to add quite a bit more saturation and contrast, but then I realized that I was putting a little too much into it, and it had an adverse effect on other things. So I backed it down to where I'm just adding a little dash of color, a little contrast, not much, and it's still pleasing to me, and I think it looks a little better in the videos. So that's my belief. Anyway, this is a great utility to change things like that, and to change your, what do you call it? To change your view. And I'm not thinking of the right word right now. It's not really a depth so much as it is a field of vision. There you go. Change your field of vision. So it can be used for that. You can increase it a little bit. Now, if you increase it too much, I don't know why, but if I increase it too much, it will give me a headache. It doesn't feel good or look good to me. But for some people, they like to increase it quite a bit, and they enjoy that, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Just because it bugs me doesn't mean anything. So, free camera. I use this a little bit. I use it to basically get some little action pictures. Not really action pictures, sorry. More of pose pictures. Less of action pictures. But I do use it, a little bit here and there. Depends on what I'm trying to do. Most of the times I don't really need something like this. And yes, I've used the dynamic camera and stuff like that. And again, most of the times I don't need that either. This one is just as easy and simple to use. Nothing I do is perfect anyway, so I use Amazing Follower Tweaks. There's some other follower mods you can use. This is the one I have used for years, and people may complain that I use it and include it in my load order, but I don't care. I like it, and it works for me. And So there, that's it. You know, I do that. And it, like I say, it works for me. I don't have any trouble. Now, I keep it kind of high in my load order, but I will tell you, other people have told me they have issues and they have to put it a lot lower in their load order. And that's fine because they're probably using mods that I'm not using. So that can make a difference always. So just remember that. This is the boost for amazing follower tweaks. I thought with this load order I might get crazy and do like, you know, a whole horde, maybe like 7 followers for fun, but I never really got around to it. But that's what this is. This is a boost of followers boost, and it just boosts it up so that you can have 7 followers at one time, and you can have a number of managed followers all the way up to 64, whereas usually I think the limit's 32. So, you know, like I went one time and I had all the followers I could get. I maxed it out, and I made them all. I made my home in, you know, the home in Fall Creek, the one you build, the Hearthfire home, and the Lakeview house, the Lakeview Manor. I made all of them's home that manor. And it was always so crowded and such a pain. And one time bandits like followed me in the door, and everybody was being blasted with all kinds of magic, and everything was thrown all over the place. It was pretty funny. So why am I telling you that? I don't know, just for fun. Anyway, this is ERSO Enhanced Mighty Dragons. This is the slidey or slightly mighty. I keep calling it slidey because I think that's funny, but it's slightly mighty dragons. Now, even these slightly mighty dragons are tough, and the dragon priests are tougher. So I just warn you to be prepared. If you're thinking of trying one of these enhanced mighty dragon mods, this is a decent one to start with. It makes them good and strong and powerful, and you can decide if you want them to be a little more powerful and you want to pick the next one up, or if this is too much and you want to do something else or whatever. Anyway, this is a good place to start. I found the dragons I have fought with this mod. The dragon fights are fun. They usually, let's see, I think you can see in a video or two by now that I have done, you can probably see that the fights take longer, they're more challenging, you're going to get beat up and knocked around more. And the fights, I think the fights are taking under 10 minutes, but like over 5. And that's with just me and Marsha. If you have more followers, you might be able to speed that up. And if you have just you yourself, it might last a little longer and it might be a little tougher. So, but it's a fun mod. It's similar to the one I've used in the past if you've been around my channel a while. My home is your home. This is just a mod that easily allows me to assign my followers a home. Usually I assign them whatever home I want them to have, like Breeze Home or something. Sometimes if they're already associated with a place that I know and go to regularly, I won't bother to do that, but it depends. Genesis. Now this Genesis dynamically increases the NPCs in dungeons. It'll fill out some places where there's not a lot of population, and it will inject some NPCs in, and sometimes, not always, it's kind of randomized, it will repopulate your dungeon. Sometimes it will repopulate your dungeon when you're on the way out. You leave, like say you're down on the 3rd or 4th level of the dungeon, but that's the final dungeon, and you take a door that takes you back up to that 2nd level, or maybe even back to that 1st level. Sometimes Genesis will repopulate that level on you when you load in, and you end up fighting your way out of the dungeon as well. I think that's fun. It doesn't happen a lot, so it's not going to happen every time. I think it's fun. It depends on what you like. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you might notice that I've moved this from where I used to keep it a little lower in my load order. That's because it's really more of just a game change, so I've just moved it up with my other game changes. It doesn't really I don't have anything else that messes with my dungeons like that, so it's okay. Now note too that they have a note on it, it will not populate dungeons that are already populated, because they don't want to mess up your quests. Now, they do give you a book, and you can tear that up if you want, but just so you know. And it's just, this one is just for dungeons. All right, so this is my tailor's measure. If you see me asking a NPC if they want to change their clothes, this is what I use. It's very simple, very easy to use. Return to Skoldolphin. I haven't done my show. I've done a show on this in the past, but I haven't done my... I was going to do something fun with Mercy and take her to Skoldolphin, even though she's not ready for that part of the quest at all. I was just going to take her for fun to show you the dragons, because I have a mod that alters the dragons. So at some point you're going to see me use this, but I'm not going to do a show on it. I've done one in the past. It just allows you to go to Skoldolphin, even if you haven't been there. So there you go. But it does allow you to return after the quest too, and you can go back to Sovngarde if you wanted. Okay, this is unique armors and weapons. Now, it makes a lot of unique armors and weapons from the game craftable and available on your forge. It does not cover everything, like, I'm trying to think of what it doesn't cover. You know, for instance, they say Ulfric's armor here. I don't think it covers that. And I'm not sure if it covers Tullius either. Of course, it could be that you have to reach a certain point in the game for those to pop up, and maybe I haven't done that. I do a lot of new lower level characters, as you know. So maybe it's been a while since I've really looked closely at those two. Nonetheless, I still think there are some other... it does have Ozadal and Mirax and all that. There are, I think there are some things, though, that are not automatically always there for whatever reason. So, still, I like this mod. It works well for me. It does a lot of what I want. Now this is another little add-on to Amazing Faller Tweaks, or you could call it a patch, but whatever. Doesn't matter. You can call it a patch if you want. The main thing is this mod keeps your followers from getting into fights with each other all the time due to friendly fire damage. So this prevents that. Okay. Alright, so we have free crafting. This is a no perks. You can craft everything in the vanilla game for no materials and without any perks. You can craft it. Okay. And they do add in some other things you can craft. They'll let you craft soul gems and money and lockpicks right away, etc., etc. There's a lot of stuff, and so it's just stuff that helps you if you want to use it. I don't really need or want to craft the money. I do craft the lockpicks, but just for convenience sake. If you craft 100 lockpicks as a level 1 character, you find enough lockpicks in the gameplay, and you'll never need to craft them again, most likely. At least in my experience. Soul gems are another story. I have another mod that helps me with things like that. But you can craft them if you wanted to, if you would prefer to only have one mod to deal with something like that. I have another mod that does a lot of things like that for me. So anyway, so this is rebalanced encounter zones. I have done a show on this in the past. Probably not the best show in the world, but it's hard to do a show on something like this since it's really more of just a difficulty. More of a difficulty mod. In other words, they've made the zones more difficult. So it's good. It's good, and I put it back in this load order because I thought it would be fun. I was fooling around. If you noticed when I first started playtesting, I was like, wow, everything is really way too easy. And I said, let's make it a little harder. So I went and I added some things to make it a little more difficult on Mercy. Because I really don't want to change her outfit and do all that stuff. And I didn't really super enchant her. So she's not really, she is probably a little overpowered, but not super overpowered. So I just went ahead and decided to increase what's happening in the game, such as this. Now this mod has changed since I originally downloaded it. Now they call it endgame random spawning enemies. Originally it was just random spawning enemies. Originally it was a little smaller, and it produced a lot of unpredictable encounters. Since they updated it, and I left them a note, and I forgot to go check on that, But I left them a note on this mod, and I said, you know, did you accidentally turn off the random encounters? Because I haven't been able to have as many random encounters since they updated it. Now, I should go back and check on their response. So hold on a minute, and let me do that. I will be back in just a minute. Alright, so the modder hasn't responded to me, so we're just going to move on from here. I will update you later as needed if there's any change to this. Like I said, I was not getting as many random encounters, and when I was doing a show on it, I finally ended up just holding that show, and I'm going to wait and see if that changes, or if, you know, if this mod appears to be broken. So we'll find out. They do say only activate this mod on level 81. I hope they didn't level gate it, because it was a lot of fun, and if they've level gated it, then I won't use it. So, that's life. Anyway, craftable clothing. Craftable clothing allows you to craft clothing. How's that? A lot of clothing. See all the clothing? Lots and lots of clothing. Okay. No enchantment restrictions. This opens up a lot of weapon enchantments for all items. It's really pretty fun. Unlimited enchantments does a slightly different thing. It allows you to put more than 2 enchantments on an item. Matter of fact, if you fill out all your perks, you can indeed put enough enchantments on your armor and your weapon. Well, you can put so many enchantments on your weapon that one hit will practically drain it. And then you can enchant your armor to the point where you are really, really super powered, and it's very hard to get the game to be a challenge. And if you do that, I mean, that's your own fault, and you can do it and have fun with it. But if you do, I mean, really, it does get boring after a while. There's only so much overpoweredness that is fun. So I'm just mentioning that. It is fun, though. It was I keep it around because I still like to use some of the features, some of the things it allows me to do. So. Alright, superhuman jumping. Need I say more? You can hop around kind of like the Hulk. I guess that's the best way. You know, he hops. Maybe not as good as the Hulk, because they show him jumping like miles at a time, so we can't jump that much. But you can jump a lot. You can pretty much jump on top of most buildings and things of that nature. Alright, the great town of Shorestone. I've not had any issues with this mod, other than the fact that they move some things around. That's really not an issue. It's what they intended to do. It looks good. It makes Shorestone look a little better, and they did bring it more in line with the Elder Scrolls Online, if you care about that. I didn't really care one way or the other. I just thought it was kind of nice that they had it. It was kind of fun. So I did it just for silliness sake, just to see what it looked like. Then we have the Whiterun Crafting Center. I hope this is out of work in progress, but I'll tell you, if it's not, it's worth getting. It is very good. If you saw my show on it, I really like it. Unfortunately, improved candles. I had the black ones. You can still see them in my game, but they're gone. Vein .3805, as far as I know, is just, they've just left Bethesda and took their mods and went home. So there's nothing we can do about that. My understanding was they had some kind of ban. So whatever was going on there, it's really none of my business, except I hate that we lose some good mods, you know, and I hate that we lose a good modder over. I'm not sure that there was any real reason for them to be banned. I'm not sure why they were, so I don't know. Anyway, powerful torch. I like this just because it gives me a better torch. Sometimes I do play some darker places, or I'll test some darker nights and things like that. And so then I like to have a little stronger torch to help me. And it helps in the videos. If everything is really dark, then the video is really, really dark. And I've done videos before where I was like, oh, that's really too dark, because all you see is blackness. And that doesn't help a lot. It's not very entertaining. So anyway, Forgotten Dungeons. I threw this in here because I always like Forgotten Dungeons. It has a lot of different dungeons. How many does it have now? It's up to about 50, right? Okay. 50 plus 15 extra dungeons, so 50 radiant quest and then 15 extra, so 65 now, so quite a bit. And it's a lot of fun. They try to put them in places where they won't interfere with other things, and so far I've had very little conflicts with them. I've had none in this, but I mean, just I've used it for years off and on, and I've had very little conflict with it. Of course, when you do a lot of mods, then at some point you're probably going to run into some issue, but it's a good mod. And if you like to just have some new and different places you haven't been, it's fun. I will just say that. Now this is Brynjar's Keep, a Dawnguard outpost. You probably saw my show on it. It's a little player home. It's made like a little keep or castle that sticks out of the mountain on the road to Winterhold. So it's really right near that little mine. Is it Whistling Mine? What's the name of it? Do they say here? I always forget what the name of the mine is. I'm so bad about it. Yeah, Whistling Mine. So it's near Whistling Mine, and they did make it to be compatible to Arthmore's Whistling Mine Town if you want to use that. I didn't use that, but it's a thought. Anyway, it's pretty small player home mod. I thought the player home was fine. You do have to do a little quest with it, but nothing too annoying. Pretty easy, really. Now, I did a show on this, the Unique Vampire Dens, weeks back because I was trying to do some vampire stuff, and I still have some vampire stuff coming, but I threw this in to this load order, and it worked very well. I don't have anybody, though, who's really a vampire. I did go around to all the dens and make sure everything worked and everything was there. This is Easier Riders Dungeon Pack. Now, they have added, their dungeon pack is smaller, and they make some very nice dungeons. Now, their dungeons, I don't know, depends on what you like. I think they are possibly even cooler than the Forgotten Dungeons. But there's fewer of them. Like here, they're up to 8 now. But it's very nice. I like it. They do allow for Forgotten Dungeons, so they don't interfere with that. And then I think they allow for some other things. But there's some new dungeons which are fun. I haven't been to all of them, so I'm hoping we will find some of them. So, anyway, cheat room is just that, the cheat room. And you know how I use that all the time for a lot of shows. So I'm going to take a break here, so just give me a minute and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. So the cheat room, of course, you know, it is a mod that I use all the time. It is one of what I consider my core mods that I always have in every load order. I use the cheat room for a number of different things, and I would really have to do a whole new show on it to go through everything. So, but there's a lot of things you can do from using it. You can use it as a player home even. It has everything. It has storage, it has crafting, it has all the vanilla items in the game in the boxes, or at least nearly every item. One box is still messed up from where the original mod author let someone else mess with this mod, and then when they restored it, one of the chests with the spell books is still not right. But you can manage. It's fine. I can still manage and use it, and it's great. So I'm not saying that as a complaint. It's just that's the mistake of letting someone else mess with your mod. Anyway, so then Juniper's house for Ilya. I have a show on this. If you've not seen it yet, you will see it. This actually does work. The only issue I had with this was once Ilya was in her house. If I go in her house to talk to her, no matter what time of day it is, she tells me I can't be in there and fusses at me and threatens to get the cards. So I can't recruit her. Now, if I can get her outside of her house, I think I can still recruit her, but inside her house, I cannot recruit her. So, it's a little difficult, if you know what I mean. Anyway, alright, so that was my only thing on that, but other than that, it does work. Everything else seems to work, and I think if I wait and catch her wandering around outside in her garden or something, I think it'll pay off for me. So this is the goodies chest. I mainly use this to spawn NPCs if I need to spawn somebody for one of our shows or some purpose like that, or if I want to make a follower out of somebody, but I don't want to remove them from their normal routine. Like I'll make a copy, because it really makes a copy of the NPC. If I make a copy of like one of the females in the game and make them my follower, or one of the males, it doesn't matter. You can do what you could make a copy of Nazim and have him be your follower. Woo. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that either. Nonetheless, then there's crafting supplies, all in one. This is that mod that I mentioned that gives me chests full of stuff like soul gems and ingots and all kinds of crafting stuff. Pretty much covers most everything. Every now and then you'll run into a mod or a mod author who goes to some real trouble to make their crafting recipes weird and different. and then I have to use the cheat room to actually make up my crafting supplies. But the rest of the time, this serves me so well, like 95% or more of the time. So then I have this this is just a basic vanilla armor replacer, just to shape them to the 7 base body, just because it looks a little better. That's all. Not a big deal. Armored circlets. I use this because I like having the armored circlets, so my people can have circlets if they want and look like they have like a little crown. That's the only reason I do it, just for fun. Nocturnal's clothes. I keep this around in case I want to make her clothes for any reason, or I want to make an armored version of her clothes. I don't find as much use for it as I thought I would, but I still keep it around. It's very small, and I could use it if I want to. And occasionally I tell you what, I do occasionally use it in the shows when I'm doing shows on armor replacers or something like that. So it does come in handy. This is just improved blade stats. It makes the blade stats on that armor as powerful as Daedric stats, which makes the most sense to me. The Blades armor being the worst junky armor in the game, or at least equal to some bad armor, never made sense to me. Craftable Elven Light armor and the Ebony Mail. That's all this does. It just opens that up on your forge so that you can craft it. So it's great. I haven't tried this yet. This is one we haven't done a show on, but this is a mod for this outfit. But I have not done a show on it yet. I will be doing a show on it before we wrap all this up. Katana crafting, as you know, I like this mod. It allows you to craft a katana like in glass, ebony, steel, iron. Well, maybe not. Well, I can't remember if it includes iron, but you get the idea. In a lot of the variations, you can get a Daedric katana. You can get, I think there is a dragon bone katana as well, and it's very nice. Well, they tell you right here. So it doesn't include iron, but it does include most everything else, including Daedric, dragon bone, and Stalrim. So I forgot it included Stalrim. There you go. You do need the appropriate perks, but that's fine. It's fun. I like having a katana. I think it's just fun. They do have some different versions. So you have like the two-handed, and you have like there's a short one. Is that? I can't remember. The short one might be the Tonto, kind of like a dagger. And then the Wakizashi is I think that too might be a smaller sword, like a short sword. Whereas the katanas are regular swords, and the daikatanas are like two-handed swords. So just to give you an idea of what they are. Anyway, I don't want to get too long-winded. This is the Blood Witch armor, which does not exist. This is Mercy's outfit. This mod was just out on Bethesda one morning. I downloaded it with some other things, and I really liked this outfit, so I kept it. I'm not going to be able to keep it forever, but right now that's Mercy's outfit, and I like it. So this is Lynn's Skyrim NPC overhaul. It's very good. I mainly keep this around for the guys. It really makes the guys, it makes their faces, it cleans their faces up and makes them look really good. It doesn't touch everybody, but it touches a lot. Now, it does also do some similar things to the girls, but I overwrite that with Botox because Botox still looks better. This looks good. As far as the guys go, this is the best I've seen. As far as the girls go, it's very good, but this is still better for the girls. So I still do the Botox for the girls. Then I have Marvelous Mirabelle. I've done a show on this follower before, and it's fun. It means that after you finish all the college stuff and Mirabelle is supposedly dead, poof, she's alive again and she can be recruited. So there you go. This just adds a little, it's just a weight adjustment from y'all so that she's not too thin and looking weird. I mean, she's supposed to be a big girl. She should be a big girl. Anyway, so this is Ashara Merchants and Traders in inns, and most every inn will have Xenia, Xenia, and she is the merchant. She's also usually some type of trainer, but she's a merchant usually with 30,000 gold, so she's very good. And Bjorn, I forget, Bjorn sells a bunch of stuff. What does he sell? He sells all the skill books, alchemy ingredients, and metal ingots. And also all the ingredients available in all 3 DLCs. So he sells a lot of stuff. I don't usually buy anything from him, but if you needed a quick way to get some stuff, he would be available to you. This is populated caves, ruins, dungeons, etc. It just adds, they say here, about 300 vanilla enemies to some interior locations and a few exterior locations in Skyrim, just to give you a little more fun in your play. And like it says, it only adds a few, 300. That's for a game of this size, and a lot of them are really in the dungeons. It's not really adding a ton. So you really won't. As far as I know, I've never had any trouble with this mod. It works fine. And it helps populate some things a little better so that you get a little more action, All right, now here we're heading into some followers. Now, I've not done shows on these, but these are shows that you're going to be seeing coming up. Just because I haven't done them yet doesn't mean anything. Even Marcia, who I've been using, and you've seen her, and I call her Marcia, but nonetheless, doesn't matter. She is actually a pretty good follower, just so you know, but whether or not she's exactly the way they intended her to be, I have no idea. But she's actually a pretty good follower. She's been pretty helpful with some of the dragons, and she conjures up a couple of Atronachs to help you, so it's not bad. Another follower, and these are some followers. I was just interested in this. Something about the idea of 4 Khajiit followers. I thought, that might be fun. So these are shows you're going to see. So I'm just talking about that. Then I have, these are my character mods, which we've gone through this recently. Actually, I did a show on this, but it's KS Hairdo's Light. I do use this lore-friendly hair just to make it better if I have, because I always have a few people that have vanilla hair. So this is just to make that look a little better. This is the Definitive Beauty Pack, the new version. It's very good, and they have not, while they did add some stuff to it, they have not bloated it up, as I say. They've made a very nice mod here that I really like, and it's not too big, and it does a lot of good fun stuff. And this is where Mercy is from the presets out of this mod with some tweaking, which I always tweak everybody a little bit. And then this is the Better Male presets. When I do a guy, I usually use one of these presets. Occasionally I will use a vanilla preset, but usually I use one of these. Let's see. So this is the body replacer I use for the girls. This is the skin texture and body that I use for the guys. They include it in, let's see, if you come down to about that little small 2-line paragraph, in the second sentence it says it comes with Voorhees the Jolly Good Fellows and Dalcio's high poly body for males. And it's very good. It's very nice for males. It works very well. Then we have my skin texture for the ladies, and this is Beauties of Skyrim, and The Beauties of Skyrim, Beautiful Vampires. Just a note, in the past I have tried the HD versions, and I've always said I didn't see a big difference. I'm going to give them another whirl after this load order cycle. In my next cycle, I think I'm going to try the HD versions and just see what we think of it. Just for fun, see if we see any significant difference. So y'all be on the lookout for that. I'll let you know when I'm using it so we can kind of get a feel for it together. Then I have beards and brows. Now beards I have not really looked at closely, and I have not done a show on yet. So I need to do that. Brows, I did a show on this. I like the brows, and I kept them. Even though I'm not a big eyebrow person, I was like, it does add some fun little variety. So there you go. This is the Vampire Body Replacer, and I have not tried it yet. So that's all I'm going to say about that. We're going to try it. I have somebody that I can do this with, or I will create somebody. Either way, we will do that. Now these are Clever Sharp's textures. Now technically this is a different port than what Stone Spiral Gaming did, because this port is from Morgan Helsing. So technically I have not done a show on these, on either of these. This is the texture collection, and it's like part 1 and 2. Yeah. So I've not done a show on those. Neither have I done a show on this friendly SVM. And it is also been ported by Morgan Helsing, and the 3 of these together are very nice. It's quite big, but if you've seen the way my game looks, I think it looks really good. Really good. So I'm just saying. I haven't done a show on these yet, though, so I've got to get there. This is the reworked Dragon Collection. While we have fought and seen some dragons, and they look very good, I have not specifically gone and tried to look at dragons with this. It's very difficult. I have to look at them while we're fighting. But from what I've seen, the dragons look good. Do they look stupendously HD so much better? I'm not 100% sure, but they do look good. So it says it modifies all of the dragons in the game. I haven't done the show on this, and while I have been looking at the dragons when I'm fighting them, and I think they look better, well, it's only 106 megabytes. It's really not that big, and they do look better. Let me just say that. I'll just say that up front. But I'll capture some dragon fighting footage for that show, if at all possible. So this is my usual. This was the mod. It's all the doors that I like in the game, because, you know, you got to have cool doors, right? Anyway, we'll move on. This is just photorealistic ash piles. It just makes the ashes look better. They're not perfect, but they look better. This is the black chainmail that I like, so that it replaces the normal chainmail you get with this mod, and it makes it black. I like the black, so. Then we have the quality world map I like to use, and I clear the clouds off of it so it looks good. I am using Realistic Water 2. Again, I've not done a show on this, but I don't know what has changed over time, but in the past when I tried this, I always had a lot of trouble with it. But now, whether it's because it's changed or because I've gotten better, smarter or something, I don't know, better, it works really fantastic, and it looks really good. So I think so, and I will show you that, because I will do a show on that. Now, we've done a show on this. You may not have seen it yet, but it's coming. If you haven't seen it yet, you will see it. And it's very nice, and it shows this version of Serana, which is cool, and I think that's a good version. Looks good. This is Uthgard Makeover, one I normally use, and this is Mjall Facelift. I normally use that. This is the Hairdo's Light with the patch. I've debated whether or not to keep this, but I've kept it around so long. I will probably keep it for, forever. So this is the alternate start, which I like this, and I think most of us use that. This is the XP32 Maximum Skeleton that Morgan Helsing ported over, or I guess they packaged and put this in. This is their own version of XPM. They say it there, SSE with TBBP and with the ragdoll settings. Now they say this does not replace the XP32. You don't have to replace the XP32 with this. However, if you use this, you don't need XP32, so it's up to you. You do what you want. This is the color patches remover, if you're familiar with that. There's a bug in the game. This happens, and this is the solution. It's inconvenient, but it's life. I mean, it's fine. It works. This is some additional alternate start. This is some additional starts for alternate start. And this is made, who made this? This was created by Flow27, and someone else ported this, and I have forgotten. Let me see if I can see who it was. I should know. Okay, I can't think of their name right now. It's something like Peril21 or something is their name on Bethesda, but yeah, anyway, one of the Rangers of Lore, if I remember right. Nonetheless, doesn't matter if they're with them or not. They did this. This is an extension to the alternate start. It gives you more starts, and they tell you what starts it gives you here. So it gives you a chance to do some different things, and they explain the starts, and I haven't tried all of them. I guess we should try them sometime for fun. I never did a show on this, matter of fact. So maybe I should do a show on it. I haven't done that. This is female orcs. They use female animations, which makes way more sense. This is one of the Vane 0.3805 mods that are gone. And this is a very nice, tiny mod. It just, AFT has a tendency, if you take Serana or a vampire as a follower and you take them, well, if you just use AFT on them, it tends to darken their eyes. I don't know why. It has some little bug or something, and it darkens their eyes. And this either prevents or corrects that, however you want to say it. I imagine since it comes down here in the patches area, it's actually correcting that issue. But nonetheless, it's going to be gone, so that's sad. At some point, I'll probably lose it. This is Morgan Helsing's More Females mod. Just adds more females to the game. You'll have more females as your opponents, and etc. Guards, things. Now this is Forever Corpse. Now Forever Corpse allows you to keep reanimating the same corpse over and over, and it won't turn to ashes after the effect is over. However, if it is killed with lightning, it will still turn to ash. So there's no solution for that. If it's killed by lightning and it is supposed to turn to an ash pile because of the lightning, that will still happen. But beyond that, I tested this and I did a show on this, and it does work pretty well. And beyond that, it will keep them as a corpse, and you can revive, you can keep using them over and over. This is Rich Merchants. All merchants have about 10,000 gold. It's great. And then this is No Tails for Argonians and Khajiits. Now, it's a very simple mod, and it totally works. It does a perfect job. It gets rid of all the tails. Now here we have Xbox One X shadows. This removes the odd looking shadows from your characters, which I have had for years, and I just thought I was stuck with that and I couldn't do anything about it, and yet here we go. Here's a fix for that from Skeletor 2017. And it works. I did a show on it, and it works. It looks good. I will probably keep this as long as it's around, because it just having a more normal, natural looking shadow, it looks so much better than having those odd, weird looking shadows. And this is the last of the mods in my load order, and this is they called it the New Armory. Someone else said that the actual name is something else on Nexus, but nonetheless, this is how it was named when I downloaded it off Bethesda. They had obviously put it up without permissions, I suppose, because there's nothing really wrong with the mod. But now it does have specific weapon animations. It has the weapons and the animations in this mod. So you have to have this mod at least below all your animations mods. However, where's my, I thought I had an animation mod here somewhere. Maybe I'm not using, oh wait, there it is. This has TBBP. So I put it all the way down to bottom, And that's where it works for me. Now, I could probably move it up as long as I don't get above this. I could probably move it up. But I just decided I don't know how long we'll get to keep it because, as you can see, it's not really a valid Bethesda mod. So the next time I have to redo my reserve space, I'm going to lose it. But anyway, it adds some good weapons and some animation for those weapons, like whips. So that's what you see Mercy using a whip, and that's just the way it is. So that is my load order. That's everything I have. I think I sufficiently talked about everything so that if you've not passed out and fallen asleep yet, you're probably not that tired. So I can't help you any further. I have talked as much as I can talk. I'm going to go and finish my coffee. I'm just going up the load order in reverse. Remember, some of these I'm going to do shows on, and I may have to come back and do an update to this load order based on those shows and just tell you which ones I ended up keeping or not keeping, or which ones I finally decided that I liked really well and which ones I didn't. So I'll try to remember to do that. I think that's a good idea. But overall, this load order, everything in this game is working as it stands right now. The only issue I removed my conflict, so I have not had any further conflict since then. And that's where we stand. So unless I find a problem with one of those I haven't done a show on yet, this should be good. I will be doing shows on these other mods, like I mentioned, the follower mods and things. And when I do that, I know I'm going really fast now, ain't I? Anyway, when I do that, I'm just going to do a show on each one of these. I'm pretty confident in Asher's mods, honestly. I'm pretty sure that this is going to be okay. Whether or not it will be to your appearance, whether it be to your liking or not, I don't know. But Marsha is pretty good. She's a pretty good follower. When I do the show, there's one little thing where her neck seems a little weird to me, but that happens sometimes, and I'm not going to be all negative about it. Overall, though, she's a very good follower. And these I haven't tried, and I haven't tried these Khajiits. I think that'll be fun. I would really like to grab them and take them out and fight some dragons, so we might do that. Anyway, I'm just rattling on. That is July's load order video. There will probably be an update in a few weeks when I get a chance to finish everything, but I just wanted to do this so that we can get this out at least by the middle of the month, hopefully. I hope. Who knows? I'll do the best I can. So thanks for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I will catch you later.
By the gods, there is a psychopath on the loose!